Hello there, everyone. How are you all doing tonight? Good. Oh, I'm so glad to hear. I wanted to give you an update and present something to you that I recently found to be quite relaxing, and I thought you would like to learn what this new tool may be. I'll give you a little hint about what it is. Just bring it around the camera, bring it around the mic. It is something wooden, so for those who guessed that, you are absolutely right. Any other guesses? I'll bring it close to the mic one more time for you. You might be able to hear some chiming sounds, or you might not be able to. Okay, I'll bring it up so you can see. This is an electric kalimba, but it works just as well acoustically. And I've heard about the kalimba for many years. One of my parents actually has one in their study, but I didn't really have too much interest in it until recently. And not really just because of what it can do or the notes it has or how it's shaped, but more so because of how calming it was for me, and I hope it proves to be calming for you too. It's built so it's like the love child of a guitar and I would say a piano, because this body right here is quite hollow, and it has this open circular section here to help out with the acoustics. And if we want to plug it in electronically, there's a input system at the bottom. It's got quite a nice woodsy pattern to it. Looks pretty uniform. It's also got two little holes in the back. It almost looks like a face whenever I stare at it with the two eyes. But I really like the color. It's a nice warm undertone, and I'm very pleased with how soothing each of the individual keys can be. Each one comes with its own note, and I believe each kind of kalimba can be created in a different kind of key. So this one is in the key of C major. It has all the major keys, no minor keys, and it looks like this one goes up, I would say, 2 full octaves. And how to come up with that conclusion? Well, if we start with the longest key in the middle here, this one is labeled C, and it has a number 1 at the bottom. it almost sounds like middle C, if it's not middle C. And then as I just go further up, we can go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. That's one octave right there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So that's 2 octaves. And there are even 2 more keys going beyond that second octave. So then it goes up to D and then to E, if you pluck it hard enough. Another thing about each of these keys is that the longer the key is individually, it means you don't need to apply as much pressure on it to make a sound. But the shorter the key is, the more pressure you need to apply for it to make a sound. Otherwise, it sounds almost like you're brushing a skin against metal or something. But I've grown to really like it because I can either tap on each of the keys and let it elicit some type of sound on its own. I can flick my finger on each of the keys. Almost feels like I'm playing a harp. Or if I want to, I can also face it like this and just play it with my thumb like that. So I think this could be a nice setting for some potential meditation music. Let me know if you're interested in some kind of meditation background music with this kalimba, because I've been thinking about it in the back of my head and I found it very soothing and relaxing, and it definitely helped my brain to relax from a long day. And I thought this would be nice to share with you all too. And I think another thing I like about this kalimba is that it's a nice introduction to learning about different notes and different octaves and how they all relate to each other, at least in this one, showing a major chord, or major key rather, of C natural. C natural key has no sharps, it has no flats. If you compare it to a piano, it's only going to show in its white keys or its larger keys. It's not going to show its black keys. The same goes to show for the minor key of A. I think they would call A the relative minor for C. I don't know too much about music theory, but at least that's my perspective. So, now, what are some other ways the kalimba shows different kinds of octaves? Well, if you look a little closely here, I'm just turning it so it's not reflecting too much. But if we take a look at this first one, which is middle C, this one doesn't have any circles between the letter and the number. The same thing goes for D, the same for E, then F, then G, and then A, and then B. But when we get to this C, you can already see there's one circle between the letter C and the number 1. So that's showing that it's 1 full octave above this original C. So we got this C, same thing with D, then E, then F, then G, and then A, and then B, and then we get to this higher C. As you can see, no pun intended. And this one has 2 circles, so now it's saying it's 2 full octaves above this original C. Same with D over here, and then finally this E. It's quite beautiful. So I think the kalimba is also a nice tool to learn a little bit about keys and music theory and how each of the notes relate to each other. In terms of the octaves and the numbers for each of the octaves, you can also call middle C C4. And if you look at a piano and look at every single C note that's a white key, you may notice that the 4th white key, yes, the 4th white key that shows C, that tends to be in the middle, that one's going to be C4. If we go 1 full octave above that middle C to the next C, that's going to be known as C5. If we go 2 octaves above middle C, that's going to be known as C6. And of course, if you go 1 full octave below middle C, which is not displayed here, that would be known as C3. 2 octaves below, C2, etc. So those are a couple other tools from the piano and from the kalimba you can use as a tool to learn about music theory and how music works. Few other songs I can practice and play. In terms of performing them, maybe another story, but it is fun to find some familiar songs included with it. Let's see, I could always do for anyone who has a birthday. I remember when I was in orchestra, the first song I learned was Hot Cross Buns. It's so simple. Yeah, so it is fun to improvise with this and create new songs or reminisce about old songs, and even just the tapping is quite soothing and grazing against each of the keys. I quite like it, and best of all, it's portable. Let me see if I can make another song. More like background music. You all have found this video quite relaxing. I'll probably use it in some future meditation videos. But I enjoyed showing this to you, and I wish you a pleasant night's sleep. Thank you all for being so supportive, and I will see you again in the next